Hey everyone, my name is Sergi. I've attempted to do some of this YouTube stuff before, but what I was trying to do basically was I was trying to get it all perfect and that, and using skills that I don't have. So I thought basically I'll just sit there and be myself because I still want to do this, but I was back and forth and I just didn't know if I wanted to, I just didn't know where to start. And one of the things that I've been meaning to talk about was this old computer system which I've got here. It's a Dell Dimension 4300. It's from 2000 and probably one. I don't know. Well, there's a manufacturing date on it, and we'll actually have a look in a second because I want to open the case and show you inside because it's built in a very interesting way. And basically, what I've done, I've put Windows XP SP3. Yeah, I've checked that before because this is not the first take. And what I've done was I've set up some software on there, um, including a couple of games, and I'm gonna try one of them actually in a second. It's a pool game, so well, it's more like a combo of snooker and eight ball and a number of other pool games, European eight pool and that kind of stuff. And I've also got Yahoo Messenger on there, which obviously doesn't work, but it's interesting because I've had it for like 8 years, and it's just got some old software in there, which is pretty cool. Um, it's got what else has it got? It's got Microsoft Office, Paint Tool Sci for like art and stuff. I like art, so I might actually give that a go. Editing software. There's a Cool Edit Pro, which is basically an old DAW, um, an ancient DAW actually by now, but it works. It's quite interesting. It even has Spotify, and it's and a number of players, Chrome, which you cannot install anymore on Windows XP because it's Windows XP. So I was gonna run through some of the software and kind of show you how it runs because I think it's quite impressive for it's like what 18 years old now, Um, so if I open up, I don't know, it's like Q Club. Yeah, let's just actually switch to the screen. Yeah, yeah. There's a warning. What that says basically is that there's gonna be some flashing lights. So if you've got um epilepsy, just be careful. Not bad, but still. Yeah. So I'll just put on like a random something, anything. It's pretty cool, yeah. So the way it works is that's how you set up your pool, your cue, basically. Angle, that's your angle. That's where you're hitting the ball, and that's power basically. And cue talk, sorry, cue chalk. And so let's say I don't know, let's do like a more powerful hit and see if we can see if we have any success. And no, we don't. Anyway, so but anyway, just if you take a close look at how it's running, I think that's pretty good. It's pretty fluid. Actually, the camera is not picking up. It's not doing its 30 FPS thing, but the screen is actually quite fluid, and I'm impressed. Um, I was just gonna exit this because we don't want to be here all day, and I was just gonna go through. I've opened Chrome before, and I downloaded off of Dell's website. Basically, there's um they still have the page for this thing, the web page, and I just downloaded the user manual. Oh, that's basically what that says is it's telling you that Chrome is not going to receive any more updates because this is Windows XP and it's ancient and all that. So if I go to Google, let's see how fast this thing loads. Well, I've tried before, obviously, because this is not the first take. But if I go to that, let's see what it does. There you go. I think that's pretty fast, for an 18 years old computer. Um, So if I put in Dell dimension, this is an awkward way to type. 4300. I think I got that right. Hopefully, yes, I did. So I've tried this before, and I think it's not too bad. Yeah, there you go. That's that's on Dell's webpage. So why the reason why I'm downloading the user guide is because on there, so at the back there's a strip of 4 LEDs, and those four they're labeled A, B, C, D, and there's a green and a yellow LED in each slot, basically behind each letter. And what it does is that it will use a combo of those colors and the LEDs to tell you whether there's some kind of errors going on, and well, hardware. And if you've got all four of them lit green, that means everything's fine, which is what it is at the moment. So I was gonna just save that and the desktop. Yeah, hit save. I'm gonna close this thing, and there it is. All right, so we'll open that through Adobe View, Adobe Reader, because it's kind of easier. And so down here, yeah, that's all of your signals. So we'll open the case in a second, and I'll show you inside and where those LEDs are. But I think that's very interesting, and essentially the point that I'm trying to make is that because you hear a lot of people they say they keep saying that the new computers have all these signaling systems that are built into the motherboards that will tell you if whether your RAM or whatever is going bad or not plugged in properly. Well, that's not necessarily a new thing, because this is 18 years old and it's got that, and it's more about that basically. If you're well, we'll open in a second. Actually, I was just gonna scroll down to how you open the case. That's all about. There's just information about Windows and how to turn it off and back on and all that, and where the plugs are and where all that. Anyway, right. So this is right. Let me just switch back to yeah. So the way you open the case basically it's like a book like that. So there's a couple of buttons up on top here at the back and one at the bottom. You press them and then it just kind of flips open. Which, you know what? I've never seen that on any of the newer stuff. If I'm actually thinking about it, because I'm trying to figure out, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I've actually never seen that. And well, apart from this, obviously, and I've also been quite impressed with the build quality, because this was I think this was like £1,000 worth of a system back in the day, and if you do the inflation, yeah, that was definitely the thousand. It was like $1,000 or something like that. So if you do the inflation, 2019. So we'll do that, and we'll put 1,000 in there. Hit calculate. Yeah, so that was in dollars. That'll be like 1.45. So nearly $1.5 thousand, and so that's it's not that it's a substantial amount of money. That's what you would get back in the day. Pentium 4. Yeah, and speaking about the about that, I don't think I've run the DirectX diagnostic thing. So I was just gonna do Windows R, enter. That's done that before. So it's just gonna scan its thing, and well, actually, we've got all the info in here already. So what you've got basically in it for that money is Pentium 4, 1.8 gig, 1.8 gigahertz, and yeah, this is all original. It's all the original components that came with it. The only thing that I put in it was the what's it called, the NIC. So basically, yeah. So you've got 1 gig of RAM, which is all SD RAM. You've got 1.329. Yeah. So right, 1.3 gigabyte of worth of page file, which is obviously on the hard drive. That's the default BIOS, which as far as I can tell, that is the new. Well, some of these had the newer version, and some of them had the older version, and this is definitely the newer version as far as I can tell. The BIOS that came with it, and yeah, that's Windows XP Professional. Sound is Intel audio built-in, which is 44.1K at 16-bit, which is basically your CD kind of quality, and it's not too bad. And display is GeForce 2. These things are so old. This is amazing. GeForce 2 MX400, and this is definitely the one that's got the TV output. Um, because there's one of those S video, 4-pin S video outputs at the back. That's a very interesting way that works. Basically, you've got the Luma and the Chroma separate, so you've got two separate carriers for that, two separate signal channels, and they get recombined at the receiver's end. And I've actually had some problems because one of the cables that I had before, because I was sending to one of those old CRT TVs, and one of the cables was bad, basically, and it just wouldn't. I think it was great. Yeah, it wouldn't pass chroma for some reason. So I had a black and white image, and it was definitely the cable. And it's one of those. It's one of those things. But yeah, it still works. And I'm quite impressed actually with it. So the other things that I've got installed are, oh yeah, Yahoo Messenger. Now, who remembers that? Let's see if it still opens. Yep, it does. Yeah, that came out of that went out of business like I think last year. It was they shut down all the servers. It's not going to work obviously, but it's pretty cool because I've had it installed years ago and it's still there. It's actually nice to see that. I haven't used it in years. It's kind of went obsolete during that time. And there's also I got Microsoft Office installed in here, which is a 2007 version, and yeah, that works. And if you notice, I mean, the speed at which everything opens and closes, and obviously you can put stuff in it, and because it's got 1 gig of RAM, so you can put you can use you can drop things in, you can drop photos, and there's a editing software I'll go through in a second. This is a DAW. For you music producers out there, you're gonna recognize this is a multi-track DAW, and it's the Cold Edit Pro 2.1 or something like that. Yeah, from 2000 and no, that's I think that was before 2008. This thing came out. It's very old, but it's still there and it still works, and you can actually use it. Um, and that's Paint Tool site. This is for you artists out there. I actually quite like drawing myself. I'm probably gonna do like a video on that kind of thing um, at some point. And yeah, it just works. You can just make your document. You can drop pictures. You can do whatever, and it works out just fine. This is yeah, this is Paint Tool site. I'm not gonna say that because obviously there's nothing on there. And it's got Spotify. Yeah, it will run Spotify, and I don't think you can install Spotify on XP anymore, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see how fast that opens. And that is nearly there. Yeah, that's not too bad actually. Yeah, it will. Well, obviously, I'm not gonna pay because I'm not gonna play anything because I don't wanna, for the copyright thing basically. I don't cause myself problems, but it works out just fine. And I know it works because I've used it. What doesn't work is YouTube. Um, for the same reason as obviously I'm not gonna play any stuff from YouTube, but I can tell you for sure that that doesn't work. I'm just gonna refresh and it's like that because the CPU basically is just not fast. It's just nearly fast enough, but not quite fast enough. So it's not gonna play. The other things that I've got are some music players and yeah, Chrome. Um, and obviously the other things you can do, you can set up, you can do basic networking with it. I can send. I've actually prepared a few pictures because I took when I bought this thing basically I used to use it with one of those rear projection big Toshiba rear projection TVs. And if you watch the desktop, yeah, that's the desktop on there, and I hit paste, you will see me copying files from my phone to the computer. See, so that's basically those files are just popping in through the network, and that's yeah, that's me like nearly 10 years ago. Anyway, that's the PC there with it set up as I was saying, and yeah, that's the back. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, that's the four LEDs that I was showing you in the user manual, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's got that was the S video that I was using, and it's got an IC which I put in, and yeah, that's all you've got on the motherboard, which is cool. Yeah, that's the TV. Oh man, I still want to get one because I'm not much of a video guy, but I think these things are quite impressive. You know, the proper, the big, huge, proper rear projection TVs that were being built. I think that was like what, 15, 20 years ago. I think probably that these were made. Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's been a long time anyway, and yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's all the connections that I was using, and it's yeah, that's how it's been set up, and it worked. So yeah, and that's networking for you. Now it will play music, obviously, and what I was trying to do is trying to add some files from a storage location in my main PC, which I'm using now to record this video with. Um, yeah, I think that's this is the files basically. So I'm just gonna hit open, and this is a track that I wrote while I was in college. It's pretty bad because I'm not a musician, but I can't play anything else, obviously. So let's see if it actually works. Oh, maybe it doesn't. No, give it a second. Make a connection to the PC, to the main PC. Or maybe. Ah, yeah, it didn't register the double click. So that technically should be some sound coming through. Yep, that's just turn it up. Yeah, so that's basically from network location. It's as I said, it's my main PC, so it's not even local storage, and it works. So it will do your basic stuff, even though it's 18 years old. Let me just rewind, well, fast forward that. Yeah. Yeah, so remember how bad the sound cards used to be, back in the day. And there you go. That's 18 years old, and I think it's not too bad for what it is. And it will also play video. For video, I use this software called KM Player. Um, it allows you to use your own codecs if you want. It's got proper built-in codecs. It will basically play anything, and it's pretty cool. It will even do 3D for you if you want. But anyway, this is obviously not. This is beyond the scope of this of what this computer can do. But if I add, so if I add the file from network location again, so that's my videos on my main computer, and if I go to that, and I know that this one here, where are you? That one there is 480. So I'll try and play that and see what it does. I'm pretty sure that will work. Yep, there you go. And that's just like an old video that I shot on the uh, 2009 actually. That was 10 years ago in Romania, because that's my home country. And yeah, I think that is not too bad, is it? And you know, and if you think of it, it will play. Say you're watching a 480 movie, it will play obviously. And yeah, so what I'll do? Oh, yeah, about this. The mouse that I'm using, that's like a proper trackball mouse. Which camera? Ah, that camera. So um, if you can see that, it's a wheel 3D mouse. That's I don't even know what that is anyway. Um, so, but the driver for it actually came on a floppy disk drive, like an actual floppy disk drive, and it was so cool actually just installing this, because if you put that through, let me try again. So, put that in the floppy drive, and we go through here, double click on that, and it's reading it, and there you go. That's the driver. So just wait for that to load, and there you go. That's Oh, I'm not going to install it again, obviously, but that's how it works, and that's a floppy disk. Anyway, so what I was gonna do now is I was gonna just turn it off and open the case, which is good thing I've got this open because I can actually just double check. Yeah, so it's that way up. Um, close all that, shut it down, and I'll open the case. And there's an interesting, really interesting thing I want to talk to you about. Shut down. Yeah, that was Windows XP for you. It's nice, it's a nice OS actually. Windows XP. It's not it's pretty simple, and it just runs, and I think that's why people loved it that much. And it's the same with Windows 7. It's too bad it's actually they're actually removing support for it. January 14th, 2020. Yeah, that's when they end support for it, which is too bad, because a lot of people like it. I'm using it at work myself, on my laptop, and it works just fine. But well, I guess that's that anyway. So I'll just switch back to this, and yeah, I just checked the manufacturing date, and it is indeed 2001, 11 the November 2001, and that is pretty impressive, and it still works. I'm actually quite curious because I haven't opened it in years. Obviously, I haven't really used it, but I'm curious what condition the caps are in, because as I'm sure you know, with these things, the caps usually go bad. Right, there we go. And that should open now, in theory. Oop, yep. Yes, it does. Right, let's turn the camera towards it so that you can see what's in here. And yeah, and hopefully you can actually see. Let me just see if I can actually turn it around. That's the thing with trying to do these things live, because it's a bit awkward. But anyway, so yeah, so that should I'm guessing that should do. Oh, you know what? Those caps are actually looking pretty good. That's not too bad anyway. So that's your graphics card there, and your south bridge, your north bridge, and the voltage regulators. And this is very interesting, because back then they were actually having them on a separate board. I'm not sure if you can see that, but right here next to the CPU heatsink, there's a small board which is that plugged in? Yeah, that's plugged. That's actually plugged into the motherboard, and that's got all the voltage regulators on it, which is very interesting. This is a 1.7 volt CPU. Yeah, and the other interesting thing about these is that all of these drives here, they all use. I'm just gonna do the hard drive because I think that's the easier one. This is all IDE, obviously, and the way it works is that it's got screwless mounting on everything. Oh, that's a Mac store actually. 160 gigs. That is not too bad. Yeah, so all this is screwless mounts. Now, a lot of people say that, because I think I've said this before, but a lot of people say that the old computers, they all had just screws and it was annoying to mount things on. But you know what? There you have it. Screwless. You just put that on and click it in there just like that. And boom. This is a pretty nice build, honestly, the way it works and the way it's built and all these the attention to detail that went in here is actually quite impressive. You've even got like rubber around these edges here. And not quite. It should be down here as well. Yeah, so there's like, well, it's not rubber actually. It's like a mesh. It just seals it shut, and I think that's pretty cool. Again, you know, you don't see this with it because I with my new with my workstation, no chance. You're not gonna see that, even though it's a proper case. And then you can get one of these days for like what $5-10. You know, so it's not well £5-10 as well. So it's not gonna be a lot because obviously it's old and useless, but the way it's built is just impressive. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video, and I'll try and do better. Cheers.